silent reflection. And then the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then can I get a roll call?
Mr. Campion.
Here.
Mrs. King.
Here.
Mr. Herner.
Here.
Mr. American.
Here.
Mr. Schuler.
Here.
Mr. Warbeck, absent. Mayor O'Brien.
Here. And before I read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, let me just welcome Councilman Herner, who we added to the council at the last meeting in a vote, and then he was sworn in. What?
Yeah, voted.
We voted on it, and he was sworn in. He's replacing the seat that I vacated as a former councilman. So, welcome, Mark. All right, so now I will read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Pursuant to the requirement of the New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice filed in the office of the Borough Clerk, posted on the Borough website and on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Post-Star newspaper and mailed to those requesting notice and providing payment in accordance with Borough policy. And that brings us to our approved agenda. There are going to be two changes to this agenda. First of all, you will note in the council member section, Art Turner is not listed, so we will be adding him. And then secondly, a little bit more complex, we're going to add a new resolution, Resolution R 2016-51, which is appointing our Public Works Director. And you're going to read that into the record when we vote on it?
Sure.
Or do you want to do it?
I
Yeah.
can do it now. We can do it now.
If it's ready now,
Yeah, I'm ready.
we made some changes to it, so.
So
If you're ready, read it now. Let's
Okay.
get it over.
A resolution of the Borough Council appointing Joseph May as Public Works Director and authorizing an employment agreement. Whereas NJSA 40A:9-154.5 provides for the appointment of an officer or employee of a municipality whose duties include supervising the care and maintenance of streets, roads, public buildings, sewers, and motor vehicles of the municipality, with supervisory responsibility for planning, scheduling, directing, and coordinating the daily and long-term operations of public works activities, and further provides that such an officer or employee is to be certified as a public works manager. And whereas the borough has not adopted an ordinance establishing a fixed term for such a position and has previously employed individuals as the public works superintendent or public works director to perform these duties and supervise the public works and water sewer utility operations within the borough. And whereas it is the desire of the Borough Council to reappoint Joseph May as Public Works Director and authorize an employment agreement for this position. Now, therefore be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Spring Lake Heights in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey as follows. 1. Joseph May is hereby appointed Public Works Director for the term retroactive from January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2018. 3. The mayor is authorized to execute an employment agreement with Joseph May, which includes provisions substantially similar to the following and is in a form satisfactory to council for the parties. Joseph May, P.E., herein referenced as employee, shall be employed to serve as Public Works Director for the period January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2018, and shall be compensated as a full-time official at an annual salary as follows. 2016, $90,000. 2017, $91,800. 2018, $93,636, which shall be paid in accordance with the borough's established payroll procedures. The borough shall provide for such salaries in the appropriate annual salary ordinances and municipal budgets. The employee shall be eligible for enrollment in the borough's medical insurance benefit plan in accordance with established borough and state of New Jersey requirements. except as otherwise specifically provided herein, the employee shall receive the benefits provided to full-time public works employees as outlined in the current collective bargaining agreement between the borough and the Spring Lake Heights Employees Association, and shall be granted sick, personal, and other paid leave in accordance with Chapter 16 Personnel of the Borough Code. The employee shall be granted annual vacation leave of 20 days and shall have the option to be compensated for a maximum of 40 hours of unused vacation leave annually to be paid at the second pay period in December. The employee shall work the hours necessary to meet the obligations, duties, and responsibilities of the position with a flexible work schedule consisting of not less than 80 hours per bi-weekly pay period, including attendance at meetings outside established work hours of the Public Works Department. The employee shall not be eligible to earn or accrue overtime or compensatory time and shall receive no additional compensation, stipend, or longevity increment except as specifically provided herein. The employee is permitted to attend work-related activities outside of the borough with the prior approval of the borough administrator. The employee shall maintain the professional licenses, certifications required to perform the employment duties and will be granted time off for professional development and reimbursement for continuing education costs with the prior approval of the borough administrator. The borough shall defend and indemnify the employee against any tort, professional liability claim, or demand arising out of any alleged act or omission occurring in the performance of the employee's duties unless the act or omission was due to actual fraud, willful misconduct, or actual malice. The Borough Council shall be permitted to terminate the employment relationship with the employee at any time for cause as determined by the Borough Council and its sole discretion. In the event the employee voluntarily resigns his position, the employee shall provide the borough with 45-day notice in advance unless otherwise approved by the Borough Council. The Borough Clerk is directed to forward a certified copy of this resolution to the appointee, the Borough Administrator, and the Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you, Janine. Do you need some more? We will be voting on that at the end of the meeting when we vote on our resolutions, but that was added to the agenda. So, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herner?
Yes.
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Motion passed.
And then next, we're going to do the approval of the minutes. First, the minutes for the executive session for January 11th, 2016.
Mayor, I just want to make a note
Okay.
on that. The next to the last sentence, at the January 11th meeting, it was suggested that it should read Councilwoman King and Mr. Delaney continue the negotiations. That was at the January 11th executive.
Okay.
So that's a change.
So can I get a motion to approve
I'll make that motion.
with the change that Janine noted?
Second.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Abstain?
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next, the executive session and regular session of January 25th, 2016. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herner?
Abstain?
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Expensive, difficult process to raise taxes in this manner. Barring changing the way that we raise taxes to pay for our municipal governments, our county governments, and our schools, we're going to have to do it this way. And if we're going to have to do it this way, we have to figure out which way is the most fair way. And I think that's our job now, is if it's the best way to stay in this program or go out of it. And I think that these two gentlemen have done a great job in giving us a lot of information and some things to think about, and thank you very much for coming in.
Before you leave, just the situation we're in, which I know there were some concerns with what was going on with that one company and their connections and some of the things that were going on with that. That happens to be the same company that we have.
Okay.
But the situation we're in is for the 5-year deal, we signed a 3-year contract, which is up this year. So we have the opportunity to possibly rebid the last 2 years, which I believe is something we would entertain. So the other companies to bid it is very important, at least to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
To,
I'll make sure, when I'm in the office tomorrow, I'll try and get that response out, number one, and I'll get it to you, and if you can give it to the councilman here. But my goal is within 48 hours, you should have the answers on most of this stuff.
thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I need some more tea.
Thanks for running it over.
I'm up at 4.
I gotta get the tape on this camera now.
So yeah, if you could please, if you didn't already, state your name and
I
address.
think I lined back, but I'm not feeling it. Oh, thank you, that's all I need, you know, I'm in enough trouble with that. Not that I
Kathleen
care.
and Thomas Walters from 600 Essex
Thank you very
Avenue.
much. Good question.
So we were here the last council meeting, and it's about the information system that is replacing the fire sirens. I know we asked for it to be on the agenda, and we appreciate that. I want to thank Councilman Campion. I had a little informal town hall at my store yesterday, and he was kind enough to come, and we actually, not only did he come, I really have to say this, not only did he come and sit and answer all of our questions, but as our neighbors straggled in over the course of 2 hours, he sat there and answered the same questions multiple times. So,
It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for doing that.
and we did hash out quite a few things, and it's apparent to us that we have similar questions and similar concerns, and that there's a lot of work to be done on this project, and I think that's evident by the fact that the American Siren isn't here tonight, and they couldn't answer a lot of the questions that were just part of what I consider standard due diligence for something like this. So the conclusion that we came to, I don't know how this can be done with the council, but to set up a committee that comprises members of the council, members of the community, members of the fire department, the Office of Emergency Management, whoever would be involved, to evaluate this process and make sure that when it's done, that it's done correctly, and that financial and social due diligence has been done before we actually go forward with anything.
I was going to do this during my committee report, but this is perfect. It's okay. No, I know it's late, and I appreciate you entertaining it, even though it's not on the agenda. Thank you. But for those who aren't aware, and I think everybody in here is, and I don't know who on the council is aware, but some time ago, we approved an upgrade to the existing mechanical siren where we were going to go to a mass notification and alert system, which would be the ability to do voice messages and page, and it would remove the Grieve Avenue siren, the community center siren, and replace the one at the firehouse with a new type of alerting system. For whatever reason, we are now where there's discussions, and I am involved with this now from the emergency management side and from the council. And as she had mentioned yesterday, she did a town hall. It was up on Facebook, which I'm very glad to put on Facebook. I went over and talked to everybody. The questions were very reasonable. The concerns that we all have are all shared. This isn't a case of a not in my backyard, we don't want it there kind of argument. And my proposal from yesterday, based on the questions that came up, was I would like to succinctly have Kate, maybe another representative from the resident side, myself as OEM, and I'd also like to be the council representative, and the fire chief, Billy Gretz. Let us get together, let us filter out our questions from their side and ours, get with American Signal, get all the information answered, get a concise presentation together for the council and the public, and then present that either at the next meeting or the meeting after, once we've answered all those questions. So I'd like the council to agree on that and give me the power to move forward with that committee.
Okay with me.
It's fine, good with me, yeah.
Here we
Go
go.
right ahead.
I will talk to you more.
Any of you are welcome. Join. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
No,
Are there any other comments?
stop, only the facts. Give me the
Move to close the public comments.
Yeah.
give me the contract.
You got it. I just made a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that brings us to our discussion, we don't have discussion items. The next thing on the list is the mayor and council reports and announcements. Let me start with my announcements, which is appointing 2 planning board members, Nancy Hadak and Nate Novak. Do we need votes on those? Or no? Okay, so they're appointed then. And also announcing the environmental commission chairperson is Kathleen Crippen, as recommended by the environmental committee. That being said, so why don't we start with Councilman Turner? Do you have any reports?
No. Murky's fine today.
And for me, being the finance guy, we've heard enough about taxes and finances, so I'm done.
I don't have anything.
The only thing I'd like to comment on, we have 2 letters in the correspondence complimenting the Public Works Department for the work they did during the snowstorm.
Yeah, I think they did a great job, so it's good to hear other residents felt that way as well.
I did. And I have nothing to report.
All right, that brings us to the reports, notices, and correspondences. As Councilman Schuler mentioned, there are a couple of letters in there commending the public's works for the snow removal. There's a monthly police department report. There's a letter from the Board of Chosen Freeholders encouraging municipalities to adopt ordinance restricting the sale of dogs and cats. There's a letter from JCP&L about increasing charges. There's a public hearing about the Spring Lake land use ordinance. There's a public, and the letters about public works and a public hearing from the Township of Middletown about sale of surplus property. Do you have anything to add to any of those, Jay, that need specific? Okay. We don't have any ordinance introductions at this time. That brings us to our resolutions. So starting with resolution number R 2016-48, which is a resolution of the Borough Council authorizing the adjustment of a designated water sewer utility account. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And a roll call?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herner?
Yes.
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next resolution is resolution number R 2016-49, a resolution of the Borough Council approving use of the community center.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herner?
Yes.
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next resolution is resolution number R 2016-50, a resolution of the Borough Council approving payments of the itemized claims as set forth on the February 3rd, 2016 bill list.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herner?
Yes.
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
The next resolution is resolution R 2016-51, which, if you will remember from the very beginning of the meeting, was appointing our Public Works Director, and I'm not going to make Janine read that again. So I think you heard what the body of that was. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A roll call, please?
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Mrs. King?
Yes.
Mr. Herner?
Yes.
Mr. American?
Yes.
Mr. Schuler?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'd like to make one comment on this, Tom.
Yes?
Public Works Director just happens to be on vacation, but he wanted to thank everybody.
Oh. All right, the next item, that brings us to our public comment section, which is, you can speak on any item, not only agenda items. If you have anything to say, please approach the bench, state your name, address, and make any comments. Being no hands?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No, we need a second. We need a second to close the public comment section.
Okay.
I need a second for my motion.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll give you that.
I'll second that. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Nice short one.